today's the WRAL weather alert day because of the heat. A heat advisory for the entire area until 8 p.m. We'll show you when we may see some storms popping up in that heat coming up.
And the flood cleanup continues. Communities across the triangle are recovering from torrential rains caused by Tropical Storm Chantal. An update on the progress across our viewing area.
And searching on Jordan Lake. Crews are expected to be back on the water in Chatham County today after 2 boaters disappeared during the storm. What we know about the search efforts at this point. A lot to cover here on this WRAL Weather Alert Day. It is going to feel like triple digits. Good morning, everyone. Great to have you with us. I'm Renee Chu.
And I'm Jeff Hogan. Thanks for making us part of your routine here. And those folks will be out on the lake searching for those boaters in this high heat, and also the cleanup efforts. Think about that in such hot conditions. Right now, Chris Michael's in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with this Weather Alert Day.
And you know, in the later part of the tropical season, when you're cleaning up from a storm, usually the air is a little cooler, a little more refreshing. In July, that's not the case. Heat advisory in effect today. The heat index 104 to 109 during the peak heating of the day. In addition to that, there's a level 1 risk out of 5 for severe weather, which means that in the 23 counties we cover, severe weather is going to be isolated. I think the better chance is going to be up toward areas like Lynchburg and Richmond, Virginia. There's plenty of dry time today. I will say that after 5 p.m. or so, that's when you see more hit or miss showers and storms. Those then dissipating after 10 or 11 p.m. today. But storm chances will start to climb back into the mix as we head into tomorrow and Thursday. A little bit of encouraging news. The Eno River in Orange and Durham County is now below flood stage. The Haw River in Chatham County, that's going below flood stage. The Cape Fear in Wellington is receding as well. But the flood risk does come back up Wednesday and Thursday. It stays low heading into Friday as well. And that's just something that we're going to see now that we're a little more vulnerable after Chantal. But definitely all the more reason to check back each day for updates.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, thank you, Chris. Taking you out on the roads this morning. This is a live look I-40 at South Saunders Street. Plenty of people on the roads, but the good news is this morning we are not seeing any delays so far. I do have the traffic map to show you all of our major routes this morning. You can see a lot of our routes are all free and clear. We are not seeing any slowdowns or any delays. All green indicated on the map. No delays so far all through Wake Forest, Raleigh, and Garner. Things looking really good so far this morning. Taking a closer look into Raleigh here. There is a water main repair happening right now on Capitol Boulevard and Wade Avenue, that intersection right there. Not seeing any delays from that. We'll have more information coming up in the next couple of minutes on that. But remember, you can listen to us anywhere on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Breaking news overnight, a highway patrol chase ended in a Raleigh neighborhood early this morning. This happened just after 1 o'clock. Troopers say the chase started after the man took off from a traffic stop. It ended in a neighborhood off Six Forks Road. Highway Patrol says the man was later found hiding in a culvert, and he had felony warrants out for him. Happening today, Governor Josh Stein is expected to visit some of the areas hardest hit by the historic and record-breaking floods we saw over the last 2 days.
He will tour Lake Michael Park in Mebane to survey flood damage from Chantal. The storm caused major damage across our viewing area Sunday and into Monday. Thousands of people lost power. Dozens of roads and highways were flooded or washed out across central North Carolina. Dozens of people had to be rescued from their homes in Durham after the Eno River flooded. States of emergency were also declared in Moore and Orange counties due to the torrential flooding.
A lot of work ahead. We have team coverage of the cleanup efforts underway across our viewing area. Let's start with Kelsey Coffey, who is live in Chapel Hill right now as the businesses there have a lot of cleaning up to do from the floods.
Yes, Jeff, they do. We're here at Eastgate Crossing Shopping Center in Chapel Hill. You can see how business owners have left a lot of their materials, any leftover debris, trash here outside of the building. And then there's cleanup crews already starting. They came here at about 5:30 this morning to get to work, to go ahead and start before the sun comes out a little bit later this morning. We'll take you to some video now so you can see how several businesses were damaged here at Eastgate Crossing. And Mary Stowe's yarn store was one of them. She says repairs are adding another financial strain on her business after being impacted by tariffs. She explains how there's several more steps to take before even considering those repairs.
Inspectors have condemned the building, this whole shopping center, and they cut the power. And until we can get this whole building up to code, they won't turn the power back on.
It's definitely going to take a while for these businesses to recover. Just even here in the parking lot, you're not able to see it, but there are some cars that are still shifted away from their parking spots. People still need to pick up their vehicles. There's even some businesses that are still boarded up this morning. So these folks have a long road ahead of them. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Chapel Hill.
Dozens of people are out of their homes in Durham after flooding from the Eno River. The recovery process is just beginning. WRAL's Laura Levine is live in Durham. And Laura, now that the water has receded, it's revealing a muddy mess.
Renee, good morning. Right now we are standing in one of the hardest hit areas here in Durham. Behind me, you can see we're looking at some very muddy conditions since that flooding, the historic flooding from the Eno River. This is what's left behind. Some of the vehicles you see parked here are now damaged because the floodwaters rose above. But follow me here this way. This is what I want to show you, because not only are we seeing some damage to, of course, the vehicles that are parked here, but even this door here, you can see the door frame here pulled apart. This is actually from rescue teams and neighbors coming in, knocking on doors, trying to pull people out of the homes to get them to safety. Taking a look at some of the video now, the relentless rain from Chantal brought on historic flooding. And the river rose 22 feet in 4 hours to record flood levels, which is how we got sights that you're seeing now of dozens of people being rescued by boats as the floodwaters entered homes, reaching chest level, and vehicles floating in the water. The areas of High Meadow Road, Omega Road, Felicia Street, and Greymount Drive were also impacted. We spoke with residents on Felicia Street who said that they're concerned at what they're seeing.
Like I say, they can't live here. It's going to happen again. There has to be some remedy.
Some remedies. So more than 80 people were rescued from this area. We know that the Red Cross opened an emergency shelter late last night for those who are displaced. That's at Emmanuel AME Church on Riddle Road. Laura Levine, WRAL News, live in Durham.
And I do want to bring you into the WRAL Live Center for an update here. Our executive producer, Dave Emke, brought this to my attention. So we have more specifics regarding a sewage spill in Durham the other day. Now, it happened in the morning, but again, we have more details with this. They're saying that approximately, this is coming from the city, approximately 82,000 plus gallons of untreated wastewater flowed into Sandy Creek. But the cause of that spill was because a tree fell and then damaged an aerial sewer line here. But here's what's been done to fix it. Teams managed to dam the creek downstream. They set up a bypass pump and then pumped the untreated water back into their sewer system. And staff will repair that sewer line and continue the remediation efforts as well. No damage to personal properties or to people in specific. But now we have a more specific narrative in regard to what led to that sewage spill.
Chris, thanks for that. And this morning, the search crews will be back out on Jordan Lake looking for 2 missing boaters. It's been more than 24 hours since those boaters were last seen launching their canoe. WRAL's Ali Kadlubar joins us from Jordan Lake there. The sheriff's office says they are not giving up hope on this. They'll be out of the water again this morning.
Yes, Jeff, and we know that crews, multiple agencies, spent more than 8 hours yesterday here at Farrington Point Access, searching and combing through Jordan Lake as the water just continued to rise. Take a look at this video from Sky 5. You can see that they use boats and as well as canines. The Chatham County Sheriff's Office tells us the 2 boaters were last seen Sunday at 5 p.m. They launched from Martha's Chapel Road access. The canoe turned up empty hours later. Now, Sheriff Mike Robertson says that they are not giving up hope today, but he does warn boaters of the lake's misconceptions.
You get whitecaps on Jordan Lake, and that water can get very choppy. It looks calm now, but it's treacherous. There's debris in this water. You can't see it until you hit it, and it knocks your boat over. If you're in a kayak, it can damage a motorboat, and so we just ask you to stay out of it right now.
Now, I've been tracking those lake levels throughout the morning, and that number just continues to rise. And so we are going to keep you guys updated as search crews are expected here within the next few hours here at Farrington Point. And we're going to also try to work to find out the identities of the boaters. Reporting in Chatham County, Ali Kadlubar, WRAL News.
A Person County family is mourning today after their loved one died in Chantal's flooding. Monica Butner left her home Sunday night just as floodwaters ripped through the area. Her car was swept away on Wilkerson Road, just inside the Orange County line. Her son says she was a nurse at an assisted living home. He says she just wanted to make sure everyone there was okay.
The most giving person in the world. She would give the shirt off her back for someone. And that's why she was on the way to work last night, was to go make sure that her little old people at the nursing home were being taken care of.
Always thinking of others. The Orange County Sheriff says his department offers its deepest condolences to the family. With more severe weather on the way this week, remember you can stay on top of the forecast with the newly redesigned WRAL weather app. It is free to download and use.
Investigators are trying to figure out what caused this plane crash in Lee County that killed a family of 4. Travis and Candace Buchanan, along with their 2 young children, 10-year-old Aubrey and 9-year-old Walker, died after that crash. The plane went down in a field just north of Sanford yesterday afternoon. Sky 5 was over the scene of that crash, helping to locate the plane for emergency crews. Police and people who knew the family tell us they were the owners of Buchanan Farms in Sanford. WRAL spoke with Abraham Garcia, who worked there for more than 8 years, and he says Travis Buchanan was much more than just a boss.
You saw him as like a father figure?
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, because all the time he helped me, All the time he told me, if you needed something, just let me know.
And Garcia says the Buchanans were coming home from the beach when their plane went down, and they were the only people on board. 6:11 right now on our Tuesday. Coming up, devastation in Texas. The death toll continues to rise from intense flooding there as crews continue to search for people still missing. What we know about that recovery effort that continues.
And as we move beyond the storm today, we're focused on 2 things, the high heat and the limited storm risk. But as you're doing your scrolling this morning, I want you to come along with me and check this out. A story we just posted that's comparing the path and the rainfall from Hurricane Fran to Tropical Storm Chantal. That right now on the homepage of the WRAL News app.
Stay safe with the latest WRAL Weather Alert Day info. Get up to the minute weather and traffic conditions when you get in your car. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM, in Durham 96.5 FM, and everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
It's 6:15 here on our Tuesday morning. A live look at Fenton and Cary, where there's some haze and some sunshine starting to rise. Temperature at about 80 degrees so far this morning. Maybe the kids heading back to summer camp. There's some of those year-round schools as well. Make sure they've got the water and electrolytes if they're going to be playing outside. And if you're going to be working outside today, heat advisory in effect. Temperatures mid to upper 90s. And that's why today's a WRAL Weather Alert Day. Storm intensity is a little limited today, and that'll also be the case Wednesday and Thursday afternoons. We have that daily chance for showers and storms. All the more reason to check back in with our weather app as we are constantly updating the timing, the location, and some of the hazards with those storms. We'll show you where we expect some additional localized flooding coming up in less than 5 minutes. Michelle?
All right, thank you, Chris. And as the morning is progressing, we are starting to see a couple delays. This crash over up in Durham just popped up about 5 minutes ago. You can see it here on the map. Serious crash, US 70 near I-85 southbound. The map is showing all green right now, not indicating any delays from that crash, but that one looks like it just happened. So I'm going to keep my eye on that and see what comes of that throughout the morning. I do have some news regarding a water main repair happening right now. This is on Capitol Boulevard near the Wade Avenue exit. I do have this to tell you exactly what is going on here. The 1200 block of Capitol Boulevard. This is happening in the far right northbound lane at Wade Avenue. They say this should be complete by 6:30. I'm not seeing any delays from this right now, so I'm going to keep my eye on that and let you know what comes of that this morning. Things over up in Durham, all over major routes. Besides that crash there on 85, looking okay this morning. But we know we saw a lot of flooding from Chantal. That had a lot of roads closed. So coming up in the next 10 minutes, I'll show you exactly where those road closures are.
Michelle, thanks. The death toll in Texas has surpassed 100 as crews continue to search for the missing after devastating floods over the last several days. Search teams are looking for dozens of people as they face the danger of more heavy rain and storms today. Kerr County police say the bulk of the people killed were from the town of Kerrville, where 68 people died, including 28 children. As rescues continue, stories of heroism are emerging. One Coast Guard swimmer says he gave up his spot on a helicopter to fit more children being rescued from a summer camp. He is now being credited with saving 165 children. President Donald Trump says he plans to visit areas in Texas hit hard by flooding.
The after effects of Chantal are affecting beaches along our coast this week. The storm led to high rip current dangers, even some rescues. Red flags are flying high along the Outer Banks, North Topsail Island, and Emerald Isle. Over the weekend, the Emerald Isle Fire Department and lifeguards had 28 emergency calls and 5 water rescues, including 3 from the ocean. If you're planning a beach trip, officials always encourage people, if you see those red flags out there, stay out of the water if there's that rip current risk. If you do find yourself in a rip current, there are some things you should remember.
Not to panic, don't swim against it. If you can swim at a parallel back in at a 45, but I would truly want people just to not panic and focus on floating. Be invisible in that water, stand on top of that water. That way emergency services can respond to your area.
Breezy conditions could keep rip currents elevated now for the next few days. Video from across our viewing area is showing us just how powerful the floodwaters from Chantal really were. This is what the rushing water did in Carborough. These police cars were left stacked on top of each other after they were tossed by floodwaters. This is at the town's public works facility. They told us 5 of the town's 7 garbage trucks are out of commission right now, but they do still plan to collect trash tomorrow.
As the impacts of Chantal are being felt across our viewing area, we want to show you how the storm compares to some of the worst in our state's history. This photo shows how high the Eno River rose at the state park in Orange County. And when the river isn't covering it, that sign marks how high the water got during Hurricane Fran. And Sunday's floodwaters exceeded how high the water got from the 1996 storm there. The yellow dots on this NCDOT map mark roads closed after the storm. At one point, there were more than 100. A map from the days after Helene hit the North Carolina mountains shows 4 times the number of closures. Just such a variety of damage reports just brought on by the sea storm, Chantal, but also now being mentioned in reference to some of our state's well-known storms, what we call Fran and Florence even.
Yeah, as some of the rain totals that we saw, especially in Orange County, actually exceeded the one-day totals from Florence, from Fran, and from storms like Floyd. And coming up on Fox 50, we'll actually do more of a comparison between Fran and Chantal. Out the door this morning, it's warm, it's humid. The heat index, already talking about that at 620 this morning. That's going to get into the triple digits as soon as noon today. That's why today's a WRAL weather alert day. Whether or not you have to work outside or you're cleaning up from the storm, just make sure you're taking breaks, seeking shade, hydrating with water and electrolytes to help you replenish. High temperatures today in the mid to upper 90s. The heat index is going to be between about 104 and 108 at its peak this afternoon. Some storms may fire up in that they're going to be limited. They're going to be isolated. That's why the Storm Prediction Center has us in this level 1 risk out of 5 for severe storms. Here's 8 o'clock this morning, and we're fine. Just some haze and maybe some clouds, especially in our southern counties. By midday, we're mostly dry. As we go beyond 3 or 4 p.m., you start to see some storms, again, pretty limited in coverage, firing up to the west, and we'll see about a 30 to maybe 40% coverage after 5 p.m. But I do think the bulk of storms we see today are going to be up toward Virginia, where they actually have more of a disturbance feeding off the Blue Ridge Mountains. By tomorrow and Thursday, however, I do expect more storminess, and now we're at a point where we're more vulnerable to these storms. That's why we're under a medium risk for flash flooding Wednesday and Thursday. This is not a named storm, but it really doesn't have to be, right? You have the heat, you have the humidity that's coming in from the Gulf and the Atlantic, and individual storm systems tapping into that. So after today, you'll see the daily chance for showers and thunderstorms, and at least the possibility for some localized flooding. That's why it's important important to check back each day for the timing and the location of those storms. For today, they're limited. The heat is not limited. This is the hottest we'll be over the next 7 days. Low to mid 90s tomorrow, near 90 Thursday and Friday. By Saturday and Sunday, low 90s, but with still some scattered storms. Michelle?
All right, thank you very much, Chris. And taking you back out on the roads this morning, still tracking this crash up in Durham, this one happening near I-85. I'll zoom in on the map here to show you exactly what we are talking about. They're calling this a serious crash on US 70 northbound near 85. You can see right where those roads kind of intersect there. That is where that crash is. Not seeing any delays from that right now, which is some good news. I'm going to keep my eye on that and see what comes of that this morning. We're also still talking about the water main repair. This happening on the 1200 block of Capitol Boulevard in the far right northbound lane, kind of where Wade Avenue intersects Capitol Boulevard. They say this work should be done in about 8 minutes or so by 6:30 this morning. So that obviously something we're going to keep an eye on. Also showing you this again. These are those NCDOT road closures because of Chantal. Really more Durham and Chatham County. They're really seeing the bulk of those delays all in our western communities there. So just keep that in mind. If you do live up there, you will run into some delays.
Thanks, Michelle. Still ahead, assessing the damage. We continue to get new and really destructive looks left behind by Tropical Storm Chantal. We'll show you what lies ahead for the cleanup for folks at Hyco Lake in Person County.
And the true cost of scrolling. 5 Under Side explains how scrolling social media could damage your budget.
This What's Trending report, sponsored by Rug & Home.
A cartoon icon could soon be making an appearance in your mailbox.
Let's take a look at what is trending here on our Tuesday morning. United States Postal Service is celebrating everyone's favorite cartoon sponge, SpongeBob SquarePants. And SpongeBob and the rest of the Bikini Bottom gang will appear on 4 new stamps that'll be unveiled next month. The beloved Nickelodeon show premiered back in July of 1999. It's been growing in parades, and now it'll be on stamps.
I'm ready for the stamps. Yeah. Love the overall message of ignore the haters and find positivity in everything you do. Thank you, SpongeBob. Much more news coming up in our next half hour. Chantal recovery. People across the triangle are cleaning up after the storm damaged homes and businesses. What comes next for people in our area?
Also, the search continues as folks will be back out on Jordan Lake after 2 boaters disappeared Sunday. What officials are dealing with as they say hope is not lost.
And with that cleanup and search in mind, we're going to show you when river levels recede today and also why today's a WRAL weather alert day. We'll show you how high the heat index climbs. It comes up in the next half hour of news.